In this video lecture, I'm going to show you how to do a business plan skeleton. The concept of a business plan skeleton is not something you'll see in your textbook, but over the years I've learned that it really helps students to just kind of map out everything that they're going to be doing through the semester. It takes away a lot of the anxiety, and it's a great way to keep track of where you've been, where you are, and where you need to go. So you can do a business plan skeleton for any business plan that you write in any format that you want. We're going to be using the outline of a business plan in your text on page 399. So please turn there and I'll wait for you. You should see that the outline of a business plan that the textbook has given you also follows the chapters of the textbook, and that's the way this course will be taught. So everything, for the most part, will be very sequential, and we'll do it one chapter at a time. We will skip over some chapters, but you can basically outline your business plan according to each chapter that we work through in the semester. So we already know what the contents are going to be, we just have to process through it. So what we're going to do is open up a blank Word document, and the very first thing you need to do is have a cover page. Now you can do this any way you want. If you want to insert a logo, let's say that the name of my company I'm doing a business plan for is Potato Head Productions, and it's a film company. So put in your logo if you have a logo. If you don't, that's okay. But you do need to title the document to inform readers what the document contains and what they're about to read. So I'm going to put a business plan for, I'll skip a line. You don't have to. Again, stylization is totally up to you. Potato, is Potato Head one word? I don't know. What do you guys think? Potato Head Productions Incorporated. All right, let's make that a little bit bigger so everybody can see it. There we go. That looks good. No need to get crazy with the bold and the underline. It just makes things hard to read. But we do want to bring this down a little bit so that it's centered some. And then I'm going to go down near the bottom of my page, go back to kind of some normal font. And you always need to put your name on here. So I'll put my name on here. But because it's a school project, we also need to know for record purposes that this was BUS 245, whatever your class number is, and the class name, and then whatever semester this is. Okay? So please be sure that information is kind of near the bottom. Now, a little way to cheat to see if you're happy with it, go to File, Print, and you can kind of see a part of my screen there, but when you're in the print preview you can see a smaller version of it. I think that looks pretty nice. It's clean, it's simple, people know what the document's about and what they're going to read. Okay, so now that we're down here, we want to go to the top, and you can't see it on my screen right now because I'm trying to stay zoomed in on the page, but at the top of your Word document you want to go to the Insert tab, and on the left hand side select Page Break. Okay, now what that did, and actually I was too close to the bottom here, so let me back up. If you go to the home page, and you don't have to do this, I'm just showing you because I messed up. If you go to the home page and there's a little paragraph button, it looks like that little guy right there. There's a button up there, and what that does is that turns on all your keystrokes. You can see where the page break was. I'm going to delete it to get rid of it. And let's try this again. Okay, it's been fixed. You could have also just hit the back button to undo that page break if you end up with an extra page in there accidentally. So what I ended up doing, where it says spring of 2000 whatever, it was too close to the bottom, and so it was pushing a page break actually 2 pages down. So I had to basically just come up here and go up one line, and that gave me enough room for the page break command. So I have my cover page. I now have a page break, which means even if I keep typing up here and it were to go to another page, the next set of information will start on a fresh, clean page, and we're going to be utilizing page breaks quite a bit. Okay, after my cover page, the first thing that's going to appear is my table of contents. And you can really do table of contents any way you want. A piece of advice, don't worry about page numbers until the very, 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 very end when you are 1,000,000% happy with your business plan. Then you can worry about page numbers and putting them in the table of contents. But they're going to change 100 million times. So until then, just don't worry about it. I personally like to be a little old-fashioned, and I just like to type what I'm going to say over here, dot, 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 and the page number, just using some tabs. I'm sure there's a fancier way to do it, but sometimes less is more. So when I look at the outline on page 399, I see the first thing that's going to appear in my business plan is something called an executive summary. Okay, we are not going to start out writing the executive summary because it is just that. I'm going to hit the tab button here so all my numbers line up nice. There we go. And I'll put an X just so I know what to do later. So we are not going to start out with the executive summary, and that's because it's the first thing you write last. So it appears first in the business plan, but it's a summary of the business plan. So you can't summarize something that hasn't been written yet. So that will actually be the last thing we do before we spit, polish, and shine our business plans and turn them in at the end of the semester. But it will appear first in the document. So the next thing is the section called Company Description. And again, dot, 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 dot. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it to right about there. Tab. And there'll be my page number once I know what it is. Now, the next part, you can do it however you want. You can follow the ABCD concept that's in the book. Personally, I just like to indent a little bit. And I know that my subsections for company description are going to be my company name, my mission statement, see where I'm going with this, and objectives, my form of business. You literally are just going right down the row. Trademarks, copyrights, and other legal issues, etc. Alright, and so you just keep following the sections that the textbook tells you are in there. Now, in the world outside of the classroom, you could put any little subsections in here that you want. You could change the sections around. There is a general format to business plans that readers, especially funders, expect to see. And that general progression of information is that you introduce the company, you explain what the product is, and then you explain who your market is, who you're selling to, how you're going to get them to buy it. Then you're going to explain everything it would take operationally to make all of those things happen. Then you're going to talk about the management and people that are needed to do all of those things. And then you finish up with, and this is how much it will cost to do the things I want to do the way I want to do them. And that conversation is what kind of encompasses a business plan. You can look at 20 different textbooks and they will tell you 20 different ways to write a business plan. So please, please, please don't think there is one tried and true, hard and fast way to write a business plan. There's not. You don't want to use a hardcore template to write your business plan, because the whole purpose of a business plan is to make unique decisions to try and reduce risk and ensure your own success. And no two businesses are started the same way. So, you don't want a plug and play solution. That's not a solution at all. So the more personalized and unique you can make it, the more legit that it is. Okay, so I'm going to keep working on this and I'll check back with you in just a second. All right, poof, it's magic. So I now have all the subsections listed that the textbook told me to write, and I'm realizing that if I keep everything spaced like this, my table of contents is going to be ridiculously long. So I'm going to come up here, I'm going to highlight all these subsections, and I'm going to tell it to remove the spaces after the paragraph so that I can just kind of condense it a little bit. And then when I come down here, I will go back to the bigger spacing that you see between sections. So the sections are executive summary, company description, industry analysis and trends, target market. But then we explain each of these subsections is going to exist. Now here's the other thing. To keep it from looking super crowded, personally, I'm going to choose not to do all the little ellipses and all the page numbers, because your company name, it's not going to take pages and pages. It's just going to be a couple sentences that say the company name is, it's registered as blank in this state. So if you did page numbers, it would be like page 4, page 4, page 4, page 4, page 4, page 5, page 5, you know, because you're going to have multiple things on one page. So personally, if people want to read the company description, they just need to know what page to turn to start reading. Kind of like when you are at the front of a big book, it says, you know, page 37 is chapter 3. You turn to page 37, you know that's the start of chapter 3, and you start reading. So, again, you can do it any way you want. Also, I would like to point out I'm currently typing in 14-point font. The appropriate font is going to actually be either 11, 12 at the most. 11 is now the standard for Word documents. I'm typing it a little bit bigger to make it easier for you to see on the screen, but please, please, please be sure that you use either 11 or 12-point font. Okay, so to keep going, we will now do industry analysis and trends, and by then you should kind of know how to finish out your table of contents. Alright, I've typed a little bit more, so let's just kind of scan. I'm not going to type the whole thing. But you can see here that we've got table of contents. Maybe you want to make that a little bigger to stand out, whatever. Whatever you decide to do, just be consistent. If you decide that your section headings are going to be Calibri 22 bold, then make them consistently Calibri 22 bold. If you want to use the little preset things at the top, where it's like heading 1, heading 2, you can do that. That's fine. There's no right or wrong way to do this. So just whatever you do, you need to be consistent. Okay? Okay, so you can follow through on page 399, executive summary, and eventually I'll put in the page number once I'm done. I know what page number it finishes on at the end of the semester. Company description, the subsections for that. Industry analysis and trends, the subsection for that. Maybe you decide, you know what, I don't know, let's see what bold looks like. See how that's a little bit crazy? I'm not crazy about that, so maybe you want to do it like that. I don't know. However you want to do it is fine. There's no right or wrong way. Just don't make it too busy. Make it easy for people to read. All right. Industry analysis and trends, subsections, target market. I would then do subsections and just keep going. The competition, strategic position and risk assessment, marketing plan and sales strategy, operations. We are not going to be doing a technology plan, management and organization. We are not going to be doing social responsibility, development milestones and exit plan, and then the financials, which in this course we are going to deviate just a little bit, and we're going to call it the financial summary. Okay, so go ahead and do a skeleton. You can always fix it later. The whole semester we will be doing things, submitting the drafts, getting feedback, editing, and repeating that process. So don't be afraid to try stuff. It's okay to try it and get feedback saying you need to make some changes. That's not a problem. Your grade in this course, as your drafts are submitted, are not going to be graded on perfection. It doesn't have to be perfect until the very end of the semester. That should be your absolute best work. You have to try stuff before you know what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. So on the drafts, your grade will come from a place of completion and effort. It doesn't mean it's always an easy A, but don't feel like if you don't have it perfect the very first time you do it, you're going to fail. That's not true at all, because nobody's perfect the first time they try something. So do your best, and let's keep working on the skeleton. Alright, so assuming I'm done, or even if I want to come back to it later, I'm going to insert a page break here again, because we're starting another section. And the reason we want those page breaks is because then if I come back and finish my typing my table of contents, I know that no matter what, my very first section of the business plan, my executive summary, will appear on a clean, fresh page. If you start doing a bunch of enter strokes or return keystrokes, it's going to drive you crazy. So page breaks are your friend. Okay, and according to the textbook and according to the table of contents that I did, I know that my very first section is going to be called my executive summary. Okay, I just picked that font as my heading. That doesn't have to be your font. And then I'm going to start typing, right? But I don't know what my executive summary is yet. So if you want to leave it blank, you can leave it blank. I like to have a little visual thing, so I say something like type text here. Okay? I'm going to copy that so I can paste it later. All right, so I can come back and I can do my executive summary, but I need to insert another page break. So when I come back and I type here, I can type and type and type and type and type all I want to. And no matter what, if I were to keep typing, watch what happens as I get near the bottom. If I need to go to another page, I still have another page down here to start my other one on. So let me show you that one more time. Let's assume that I have my, and if I'm confusing you, just ignore me then, and you'll find your own system. This is just my system. But let's say that I'm here and I've done my page break and I know my next section is company description. Okay, then let's go say I go back to my executive summary and I've been typing and typing and typing. I'm just typing so much. Got so much wisdom to share, so many ideas, and I go to the next page and I type and I type and I type. What it's done, because there's a page break, is it has pushed my company description to the next page. So no matter how big my executive summary gets, it won't be big, but no matter how big my executive summary gets, my next section, the company description, always starts on a nice clean page, and that's what we like to see. Okay, so let's review what we've done. Cover page with an image if you want one, your logo, whatever. A business plan for Potato Head Productions Incorporated, your name, the class, and the semester. You need to go ahead and build a table of contents and use your main sections provided from the textbook along with your subsections. Go ahead and do the whole table of contents, and then you want to do whatever size and font you choose for your headings. You need to go ahead and use it and be consistent. Type executive summary, type text here, whatever kind of placeholder you want, and then go ahead and start doing that with page breaks through the whole document. And you're going to go ahead and lay out the skeleton for your business plan. So all you have to do is come back and, put the meat in, I guess you could say, the muscle, whatever you want to call it. Now, here's something interesting. Executive summary is just that. It's a paragraph, series of paragraphs that summarize the whole business plan. So there's not any subsections for it, but company description does have subsections. So I'm going to go ahead and put my subsections in. I'm going to make it, a little bit smaller font to give a visual cue. But I know from my table of contents and the textbook that the first thing to appear is company name. And then I'm going to say, let's see. Oh, look, I'm going to have a bunch of text there. No, I don't like that. That'll be a pain to deal with when I come back to type. See, like, even teachers don't get it right all the time. Okay. And then I know that my next subsection is mission statement. And I don't know that that big old space will be. You can always go back and put spaces if you want to. Just whatever you do, be consistent. Whoops. Switch to my heading font. And all I'm doing is going through and I am laying out my big old document that I'm going to be typing in. And so then what happens is, as the semester comes, when it says this week we're going to be writing the company description section, you know that you need to go in here and you need to write about your company name, you need to write your mission statement and objectives, you need to write about the form of business, etc. Alright, I finished typing. Let's take a look and see what it looks like. So company description is my section header, and then for my subheaders I have company name. I see where I'm going to type text. If you don't go ahead and put something there in your normal font of what you want to do, chances are every time you come back to type, it'll start typing in whatever you've set your subheading to be, and then you'll have to change that font a million times. So go ahead and save yourself a little trouble and put something in there in the font and size and everything that you want, so that when you go to type, the cursor will pick up that formatting. So all I've done is I've laid out all of my subsections and space to type. Okay, now that I'm at the end, I'm going to, you got it, insert a page break, and I start with my next section, industry analysis and trends. And then I start with my subsections. There we go. And I just keep on going. Industry maturity. And you would keep doing that, and you do that for the entire business plan. If it were me, I would use the schedule of assignments that's already been provided for you, and that will show you what chapters we're going to be covering, so that you know which ones to go, even though I just listed them in the video. Alright, and the video is getting a little long, so I'm going to wrap it up. You will do this all the way through, and the very last thing that you will do will be something called an executive summary. So let's fast forward to that really quick. So your last section on the skeleton will have the section titled Financial Summary. There are no subsections for that. You will just type your summary in paragraph form. And like I said, we'll be doing it a little bit different from what the book says. They have just spreadsheets and an assumptions page. I feel like it's very important that you not only be able to stick numbers in a spreadsheet, but that you be able to interpret the spreadsheet and tell the story of your numbers. And so that's what we'll be doing here. All of the spreadsheet work that you do will be in a separate document and submitted as an Excel file. So the actual business plan will stop here. Another thing to note, to give a second round of feedback, everything up to preceding the financial stuff will get turned in, and then you'll get feedback from your instructor a second time, because you'll turn it in weekly by section. Then you'll turn everything in for a second round of feedback, and that's referred to as your core business plan. So everything but the financial stuff referred to as your core of your business plan. And you'll get a chance for feedback, and then you'll work on the financials a little bit, write the executive summary, put everything together and edit it one last time, and then you'll submit it at the end of the semester. This is a significant portion of your grade, but the business plan is significant throughout the whole semester, because that's all that we work on. So all of those little assignments that you do every week, they really, really, really add up. And they also will make your life much, much easier if you stay on top of it weekly throughout the semester. At the end of the semester, when it's time to turn everything in, there's really not that much work to do, just going back and reading and editing and being sure you're happy with everything as it sits before you turn it in one last time. So work hard, work smart all semester long, and the end of the semester should be a very good experience for you. Thanks for listening, and good luck on your skeleton.